We have a lot of things to talk about in this second episode, and we're joined by a bunch of other people this time. It's not just me and Mark. Sam, Manos, and Joe have decided to join us. How are we doing, chaps? Are we all well?
Yes.
Yeah,
Very good, mate.
Yeah, everything's great. I have taken like a very long break. I don't remember, like last time I was with you guys was before Christmas. Yeah, traveling and everything. Yeah, it takes time.
When we were doing the old Twitter spaces.
Yes.
Twix spaces.
True.
And we have moved over to YouTube now, and things are going splendidly. But we are live on X, we are live on YouTube in multiple places, and
we're
Twitch.
Live on BBC.
We're live on the BBC right now. Yes. We have a lot to talk about this week. Actually, we have the S24 Ultra and S24 range in general, but S24 Ultra is what we'll focus on mostly because a number of the guys here actually have hold of one, and even one or Manos, have you already posted yours back, right?
No, I haven't. I'm waiting for the watch to arrive, and then I'm gonna send everything back.
Is it boxed up?
Yeah, it's boxed up. It's factory set. Everything is like packed and just done with.
We'll get to that. We've also had the OnePlus 12 launch, which
That
is
looks
looking
tasty.
Pretty good. There's been news of Oppo finally signing a licensing agreement with Nokia, so we might get them back in Europe. Fingers crossed.
Ooh.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
And then whatever else has been on the cards, maybe even the Pixel 9 leaks, renders, whatever you want to call it, the fact that it now looks like an iPhone, apparently. But we'll get to that. We'll start with the S24 stuff, guys, and it's going to have to just go to you guys who have actually got it. I think, Joe, you were actually there for the launch.
Yes.
Yep. It was awesome.
Good time?
It was really awesome. Yeah, man. What a production. Like the big cinema screen, the sound, the people cheering. It's brilliant. It's like being at a sporting event.
It looked really good.
It was
really
really
good.
good.
And you got the S24 Ultra to use for,
Yep.
what was it, like
Very
a
lucky.
year
Thank
or
you,
so,
Samsung
apparently?
and Snapdragon. Yeah, for a year.
How are you finding it so far compared to your S23 Ultra?
I think it's a nice refinement. I like a flat screen, so that's a win. The titanium does make it feel a bit lighter, so that's a win. The AI stuff's great. I mean, I'm a Pixel fan, so it's great that Samsung are adding more AI stuff in as well. The camera I've not tested that much yet. I'm waiting on an update before I give it a test. When that
You may
update's
have
going
to
to come,
wait
I
for
don't
a
know.
while, huh?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it was rumored for the 23rd, and then it never happened. So
The thing is, they
yeah.
didn't specify which month. 33rd. Oh, you need
That's
to be
true.
careful. It could be June. It could be September. Who knows?
Yeah, it could be next year.
2025. 2025.
Yeah. Well, it's supported for 7 years, so
Just saying.
It's a fair while.
yeah.
Mac's been doing some crazy photo taking with his S24 Ultra in comparison to
You know it.
his Pixel 8 Pro, because he's been totally undecided on what to have and what to keep, and we've been
What's new
barraged.
then?
We have been
What's new
barraged
then, mate?
with photos of random things.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I wasn't really going to get one. I'm talking about the S24 Ultra, but the buyer that I had for my S23 Ultra that just stepped back and told me that he actually got the S24 Ultra in a very, very good deal, so I can really blame the guy. And then Manos here
My
showed
fault.
me your fault. That's true. Showed me the amazing, amazing, really good deal that he was able to get for me as a trade-in for the S23 Ultra. So I ended up paying like £400, and there is still a watch to come, Galaxy Watch 6. So it was really a good deal, and I decided that people were saying that Samsung really toned down the processing this year, so maybe it's worth a try. And yeah, I've spent the last like couple of days, 3 days maybe, looking for an opportunity to take some comparison shots with this one. And yeah, I have to say that just like Joe said, this is a good refinement over the S23 Ultra. Not only in terms of hardware, because the hardware itself is a bit better this year, but the S23 Ultra was like top notch already. But when it comes to photos, I really have to give it to Samsung that they stepped up, at least with my device. They stepped up with the processing, and they fixed a lot of issues that I had before. But was I really even tempted to keep it? Not photography wise, hardware wise. Absolutely, I love the boxy design. I love the One UI. I think that this is one of the best Android skins, at least for me. And I really would like to love the cameras as well, despite the fact that they are better than last year. Sadly, not a very good comparison when it comes to Pixel, especially in a like few more detailed regards. And I like I give a little big attention to details, and stuff like 50 megapixel photos, like raw photography or night photos, are those things that really makes the pixel shine. And sadly, I use the high megapixel photography a lot, and I use RAWs a lot. But sadly, Samsung cannot keep up with Pixel in this regard. So I'm like, today evening, I can say that I'm 100% sure I'm going to return the Galaxy. Galactus V3 is going back to Samsung.
Ooh.
Yep.
You're pulling a Manos. Just took a little bit longer to get there.
I actually tried. Like longer than an hour.
Longer than an hour.
Yeah, I took like with today afternoon. I took like 250 photos, maybe closer to 300 photos, in different conditions, in different modes, and yeah, I'll surely drop something on Twix, probably tomorrow, like more detailed comparison. I already have all the photos on my PC to like do a pixel peeping in Lightroom in the comparison mode. But yeah, more details to come, but simply can't touch the pixel quality when it comes to photography. What can you do? Even though I really try to like it. I really try to like it this year.
Joe's just showing it off again.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna tweet out that we're alive.
So Manos, you, as you say, Mac was saying, an hour, pretty much.
Yes.
Maybe a little bit longer. Maybe just
or maybe a little bit less. I don't know.
Maybe a little
it
bit
was
less.
Yeah.
He didn't get through the initial configuration.
What is it
Right.
that you were just not sold on? I mean, you obviously were sold on it enough to order the damn thing.
Yeah, I was curious because I really wanted to see, how it compares the camera to the Pixel, especially the 5X, and how, the digital zoom up to 30X is. Because I knew One UI for me, okay, I like it. I like it enough, to just go back to it. I don't have the hate relationship you have with it, for sure. But I don't think that I love it as much as Mac does. But the first thing that I did was, just to hit the camera and just compare it immediately with a Pixel to the kind of shots that I normally go for and I know that I like and shoot outside, my garden or the street. And I couldn't see something better. I didn't, test it to the extent that Mac did, but immediately I was able to spot the things that I don't like with the processing. So that was enough for me to say, you know what, if I'm not happy with these first pictures, what's the point of further testing just to prove to myself or, I don't know, to anybody else that it's worth keeping? But regardless of the camera, the rest of the phone is very solid. There's no denying that, especially because of the Snapdragon inside. The phone is just amazing because of this, especially for us in the UK, where, we used to have Exynos and we know how bad that is. Um, but
Exynos is
yeah,
apparently pretty decent this year. Like it looks all
true.
right. It looks
Yeah,
all
yeah. Based
right.
off what what's the guy with the Labrador? Yeah,
Golden
Golden
retriever
Reviewer. Yeah,
person,
Golden
something like
reviewer,
that.
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. It looks like the benchmarks are very
I'm going with
good.
golden retriever. It's better.
Yeah. But yeah, for
Fair.
me, yeah, I ordered it because I was very curious to see, how it would stack up against the S23 Ultra, which for me was definitely the phone for, 2023. Only if you had GCAM, and until the Pixel 8 Pro came along. But yeah, for me, I just want a phone that has the whole package, and the Pixel 8 Pro for me just tick those boxes because I don't want the super duper benchmarks for gaming and all this crap. It's not for me. Whoever wants those things, good for them, and I'm happy that phones like the S24 exist. But for me, I want the basics done very well. The Pixel does this, and then it goes even further beyond with a camera, especially being able to shoot in RAW 50 megapixels from more lenses. For me, this is just perfect. And even when you use the 3x digital crop on the Pixel, it's very, very, very good.
Mm.
Thanks to the 50 megapixels. So for me, I don't need anything else for my photography needs.
I think it's quite interesting because we've all sort of been talking a bit about how the Pixel seems to sort of spoil us a little bit, and we're always comparing it to the Pixel, and it's really difficult to get away from that camera system. And
Yeah,
Ibrahim says there, do you all agree that the Pixel camera experience has spoiled you when using other devices, knowing that other devices have a good camera system? And it's like I say,
1000%.
Mac and me have spoken about this quite a bit. That
Yeah.
we know the S23 Ultra, S24 Ultra, they feel like a more well-made device compared to the Pixel 8 Pro.
It's very premium.
But yeah, it feels it, and it's similar with the iPhone as well. The iPhone feels absolutely solid. There's just something about the Pixel that doesn't quite feel as good. But it's the camera system that sort of pulls you in and really just does just sort of keep a grip of you. And then every time I switch to something else, I do miss the Pixel.
Apart from
Always
Sony,
do.
Dan, be honest.
Situation dependent, let's say. Let's say that. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I was going to get the S24 Ultra as well, but I decided to get the Sony again. So I've got the one Mark
Good
V back
call.
again there.
Good call.
Yeah.
Having fun with that again. I'm still. It's funny though because you're still slightly envious when you see everybody opening up their S24 Ultras. It's like, oh, should I have got it? Should I have got it? And then you start to see the photo samples, and you're like, oh yeah, no, I'm all right.
For
Yeah,
me, I
but-
told you. Oh, sorry, Mark.
No, go.
I was gonna say the wow factor for me after unboxing it went just like this. Because I used the S23 Ultra, I would say the most last year, more than my 14 Pro Max. And it was a great phone. And then the S24 came along and it just felt exactly this. And I even found myself trying to install Gcam. And then I was like, what the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this to myself? And I was just like, just scrap it. And then went back to this and I was just happy. And today that I was going to the office and then I went for a lunch walk. I just took so many nice pictures. I was like, I'm happy. I'm content. The Pixel camera is just for me the smoothest, zero lag, no FPS drops for the 12 megapixel modes. It is a bit slower when you use the 50 and RAW, but it's okay. It's not a deal breaker for me. But yeah, iPhone and Samsung, they just feel slower. I don't know if you guys share the same experience, but when I compare them, the Pixel just feels...
Camera wise.
Yeah, camera wise, when you use the camera application, yeah.
Yeah, it does feel a bit like that. Sam, you're not really bothered about cameras that much,
Not
but
my
you
thing.
do hit up the Samsung foldables a fair amount. How
Yeah,
are
the
you
Fold
in
5.
terms of everything else about Samsung, into software wise, hardware wise, apart from cameras? Like, are you really happy with that? Because I know you've used other things as well. other foldables and things. So be interesting what you think in terms of like software comparisons and how they work.
Yeah, I like One UI. It's fine. It's a bit pedestrian to me. I mean, it's not pedestrian in this fact. It's got everything it needs. I guess Samsung has everything everyone needs all the time. You know, if you want a decent camera, it's got it. If you want a UI experience, it's pretty good. If you want I mean, it's got every feature you can possibly imagine. Stuff you're never gonna use. Those kind of things, right? It's like the kitchen sink phone, right? Everything. It's got a really nice screen. It's got pretty nice speakers. It's got really nice battery life. It's got a great processor. It's going to get updated now. You know, Samsung's done a better job with updates. Now it's monthly, right? Instead of a bi-monthly cadence or whatever. It's one of those phones where you really can't go wrong with it, right? If you're an Android user and you buy a Samsung S24, an S24 Plus, an S24 Ultra, or even go back a year, you know, any of this S23 lines, you're not going to. Yeah, you got an S Pen. I mean, you got everything you need. But in that, it lacks. It's kind of sanitary. I guess this is the way. I guess everybody's got one. It's the default Android phone. I mean, I know Pixels are getting better as far as, you know, absorption rate, but for the most part, everybody's got. If you have an Android, chances are you have a Samsung of some kind. If you're a regular person, so yeah, it's okay. I mean, I love my Fold 5. I think it's really great. The speakers are nice. I think for me, I think the Fold 5 takes really good camera shots. Like I think it handles most lighting conditions. The shutter seems to be, but I'm not over here like, you know, like Mac, who's really taking a lot of photos or a lot of videos and really pixel peeping. And like, to me, if I take a picture and I look at it on the screen,
you're not weird, Sam. You're not weird.
That looks no, it's not even weird. It's just, yeah.
I am weird. I'm not afraid to say it.
There we go.
But I mean, if all things being equal, right now, for me, if I could get an updated Duo 3 with. Oof. I would never use anything but, even if it's got an camera, right? I realize for camera people, it's not going to be a thing. But for me, the experience, having two screens and having that phone and using it, and also it's a phone that almost nobody has. You'll rarely see anybody use it. And it has a little bit of it's kind of like unique, right? And then because it also, right. It also, for a person like me, it drives conversations in public. Like, people talk to you about, if you see an Android device or if you see an iPhone, nobody cares, right? It's just like, it's so pedestrian. Everybody's got one, who cares? But nothing, I'm telling you, when you go up and you open your Fold or your Pixel Fold or your OnePlus Open or your Duo and you pull it off, oh yeah, dude,
yeah.
it immediately, you should, to watch people's faces. Literally their minds are blown. Like, you watch it in front of you, just like, they're like, what is that? Like, is that a phone? And then it immediately starts a conversation about it, even if it's just, you know, 20 seconds at a coffee shop or at a pub or whatever. Right? And I kind of like that. I mean, I guess that's my weird thing, right? I like having a phone that kind of catches attention.
Having that emerging tech where people just look at it like, what the hell is that?
Right. And then also just to have, and then and then showing somebody that and then realize that you could live this life if you decide to kind of open your horizons a bit and kind of get outside of whatever bubble you're in, Samsung bubble, iPhone bubble, whatever, that there are other options out there. That's all. Yeah. So it's cool. I'm waiting for the Fold 6. I'm not interested in the S24 series, just like I wasn't in the S23 series. It's just not, slab phones just aren't my jam anymore. And that's just a me thing. It's just my workflow.
No, I totally get that. And I think Fold 6 this year should be pretty interesting because they've kept things pretty much the same for the last few years. And now they've got some good competition, because the OnePlus in particular, I think, knocked it out of the park.
I was this close to order it. This close.
Yeah.
Snap.
If I had the money to just choose a phone now, it probably would be the Open. It would just be the Open. So I'm hopeful Samsung do. You know, we need to see them sort of innovating and pushing things forward a little bit more. So hopefully they'll get to that this year.
Yeah, when I was eyeing the OnePlus 12 pre-orders, I was like, the Open is like $13.99 or $12.99. I was like, maybe this would be a way to go. Because I had the Z Fold 4, and I fully agree with what Sam said. I mean, the experience with watching people's reaction, it was like a year and a half ago when I had the Fold 4. It's like so funny. I mean, people are so not used to seeing you like take out a phone you just folded open, And it's a good feeling. I also like to use something that's not very popular. And for example, in Poland, okay, now it's a bit different, but like 3 4 years back, like pretty much no one was using pixels or Nexus phones. So it was really a good phone to have for me back then. But yeah, I'm also very curious about the Fold 6 because just like you said, I think the OnePlus Open pushed them enough to make some changes this year. Hopefully we won't see the same set of cameras as we had for the past like 2 years. And I would really like for the S Pen to be included within the case. I mean, within
That
the
would
phone
be-
itself.
that would be
not,
amazing.
not the
Like
case.
siloed. Yeah.
Yeah. The S Pen is one of my favorite features of the S23 and S24 as well. To be honest, I'm using it a lot. And this is actually one of the things that I miss using the Pixel.
Do you know what, Mac? It's
I
funny you
miss the
say
S
that.
Pen.
I
I
have
was
to
going to
agree, yeah.
ask. I was going to ask you guys, like, do you value a pen input on your devices on your phones? And you've
Yes.
answered it for me there, Mac. Like, how about you other guys? Like, do you value having a
Oh,
a pen?
100%. And I think One UI has done it very well with the features they have added.
Hmm.
For me, the very first time that I was sold on the S Pen, it was with a remote solder. For me, it was like, wow, I don't need to have like a watch or just putting the silly timers. I can just take as many pictures as I want, just
Yeah.
using that. And actually, I was using the S22 Ultra like this when I went to Disneyland back in 21. And I was so happy, with the way it was working. I don't know. It's just those little things, they use. Just
Was it
There's a
the
smile
way
on
it
your
was
face.
working or the Disneyland that made you so happy?
no, but both.
Big
just,
enough, finally.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you say that, but when I first went with my parents, I was too young, so I couldn't go to most of the rides. So now, it was just perfect.
I'm not bothered about the S Pen. In all honesty, I think I used it once the whole time I had the S23 Ultra.
That's to pick his nose.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I used it twice, one for
Yeah.
each nostril.
Yeah.
Yeah, it all
Well, like,
depends on the use cases, right?
Yeah, it's one of those. I'm still of the opinion that this phone should not be an S range phone. It should be a Note, and we should have still had a S Ultra as a separate. I much preferred it when they had the S21 Ultra. No pen. I think they could do so much more with that space. But
Would they really?
they
I
could.
mean, what would be the differentiating
Yeah.
factor? Because then I'm sure they would differentiate the cameras, and one would be better over the other. So, what would be the incentive for me to get the Note? Because I think the S21 Ultra had better cameras, or the S20 compared to the Note, or vice versa. I can't remember.
Note always had the best set of cameras because
best,
it was always released like a half an hour later after the S.
Yeah, they always
series.
release it later, didn't they? Yeah.
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 My last
That-
Note was
yeah.
the Note 10 Plus. Nice phone. The battery was crap, but everything else was fun.
I just like to see them push the envelope a little bit more. Samsung with an ultra. If you're going to call it an ultra, needs to be ultra.
My
Those-
feelings with OnePlus coming on the scene a bit more, and especially with them selling in the US, I feel like that might push Samsung a bit forward more. Because like the Open's being shouted out as the best foldable at the moment by a lot of people. Samsung are obviously going to take note of that.
Fingers crossed.
No pun intended.
I
Yeah.
think it really depends on where they were in their hardware development cycle. These phones have to be projected out years ahead of time, right? And so I think it really depends. It depends on. I know for the U.S. market, I think Samsung, and rightly so, would assume that the OnePlus brand in the U.S. is a DOA product. They're not going to sell them. They've tried to penetrate through U.S. carriers, and they're not selling them. I mean, they just aren't. Now they are a little bit, but I don't know how many times. I mean, I have not seen a fold or an open in the wild. Period. End of story. And I probably am not going to see one. So I would like to think that, but I really don't think Samsung really. I don't think in the U.S. market. I don't think they care about any competition. Maybe Google now, at the Pixel level, but I still don't think they care that much. I don't think the Pixel Fold is going to move the needle for them. I don't think they're just going to say, hey, look, our thing is this is the form factor we want to go with. If you want to go with more of a folio style, a little wider screen, then buy the Pixel Fold. We really don't care. But I don't think they're trying to be that. I don't really think they're going to look at OnePlus and go, well, you can buy OnePlus Open. Here's the OnePlus 12. They don't care. You're not going to see many OnePlus 12s in the market. You're going to see a lot of S series. You're going to see a lot of A series. You're going to see a lot of J series. Samsung devices. And they know this. And that's what's going to be pushed in carrier stores. I mean, you can't find a OnePlus in a carrier in the United States. And still to this day, that as the lone American on this panel, I'm telling you, if it's not carrier driven, it's not moving. And
no carrier jumped on them yet. I thought someone had.
No, the Open, they aren't selling OnePluses anyway.
No, the 12. The 12.
The 12? No, you can't buy a 12 anymore. I mean, no. No, not in a carrier store. And people are walking into carrier stores. Americans buy their phones through carriers.
Yeah.
Except
same in the UK, mate.
You.
Same.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. And then in the United States, it's worse. And why would Samsung and Google and Apple allow anybody else? Why wouldn't they call T-Mobile and AT&T and leverage? I mean, I'm convinced that they squeezed out Windows Phone, and because you couldn't find them anywhere. I mean, they basically like, hey, Samsung and Apple want to control U.S. carriers. They do not want to let anybody else in there,
and they do it well.
Realize, and they're going to squeeze anybody out. So that's what OnePlus did try at T-Mobile, right? They had the OnePlus 7s and the 8. That was the end of that. They
control Windows Phone very well.
Yeah, and I just think that's the way it is.
I mean, what did it hit in the US? Like,
it sucks.
3% or something, 2-3%, something.
Yeah, and I think in Europe it was at 10 at one point, which was fantastic.
Here it was around 15%, I think, at one stage.
Yeah.
Italy was even higher.
Actually, fun fact,
crazy.
it had the biggest percentage of the market in Poland across all over.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and you could really see a lot of people using their Windows phones back then.
That's crazy, man.
And in Michael's comment's correct. They are at Best Buy. But if you go into Best Buy and do your upgrade, which you can through Best Buy, right? You can buy your phone and do a carrier upgrade or buy it off the shelf, right? And throw a SIM in it. But if you talk to the people who are working at the Best Buy in the phone section, they're going to draw you towards, and look at the end caps. The Google has this little end cap near the cases, and right when you walk in, it's rows of Samsung, rows of iPhones.
That's they pay big money for that.
Right,
yeah.
and the Windows
people
Phone
are going in for those phones, right? They're going in for the Samsungs and the iPhones
even
anyway.
if they're not, even if they happen to look over and see that, hey, what's that Google thing over there? They go, Google's got a phone. They'll just go, they're going to steer. Well, yeah, but it's got this and that. And I heard guys at carrier stores to badmouth Pixels. Well, Pixels are this and that. I'm like, and they're just steering right into because
I've seen it happen.
I don't know, not at Best Buy, but maybe at a carrier store. I know that they are incentivized to push them towards other devices. I had a buddy that worked at AT&T. He told me as much. So it's just like...
One issue we've got is trust, isn't it? So you say, OnePlus, who's that? Oh, it's a Chinese brand. Oh, Chinese brand.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I don't know if I trust that.
Yeah.
And you can tell them how great...
China!
Yeah. It's quite sad, though.
Yeah. Huawei has left a very
It
bad
is.
taste for Chinese phones in the West, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think in the United States, when it comes to China, it's not just the phones. I think there's a lot of other stuff that's
There's
driving
other stuff as well, yeah.
Chinese sentiment in the United States. I know.
Let's not go there, though.
We have to do with somebody who,
But
funny hairdo.
But
Put it
at the
that way.
same,
Wait for your impression.
at the same time, like
China.
looking at Google, right? Google was able to like put in the needle and put the foot in the door a bit. And to be honest, Google is the biggest like enemy of Google phones, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because like I think that we all agree that like Tensor isn't a bad chip, right? It's a good enough chip.
It does the
has
job.
It's
does
just
its
not
job.
great.
It has its
good enough.
weaknesses, but it's so easy like for the guys at the stores to just like take the client and show him, even if he doesn't even understand what does it mean, but he can show like some web page and show him that, look, in this and this benchmark, Samsung has like 7,000 points and the latest Google phone has like 3,500.
Well, it's just
right?
like YouTube videos at the minute showing the OnePlus 12. So that's just come out.
Yeah.
You've got people. Obviously, it's an SEO thing as well, where they're trying to get the clicks. But like, they're comparing the OnePlus 12 to the S24 Ultra, which is like what $400-500 difference.
Yeah,
it's a stupid amount difference.
Yeah.
But they're like, well, the OnePlus is really good in this, but you know, the S24 Ultra is just that bit better. And you're like, yeah, I should hope so.
Twice the price,
Yeah.
right?
But then
not,
it's
yeah,
specific things they're talking about. They don't talk about the bits where the OnePlus 12 actually does do a
Mhm.
lot
better
better
pictures
in some
for
areas.
sure.
Yeah, so there's a lot of. It's not just the people that are in the carrier stores and stuff selling the phones. It's also media, YouTubers, whatever else that are also sort of. We know that they have to toe the line in many ways. So they're also doing the same thing and feeding into that system. So
Yep.
it's very difficult to get a message through for a certain brand, a smaller brand. Not you'd really consider Google to be a smaller brand, but it's just hard.
Yeah, but
in the United States, I'm sorry, the only reason Pixel's getting traction is because they have now Google has decided to push regular terrestrial advertisements into the mix.
They do it here as well.
On the super, right?
Yeah.
They did the
Loads.
Pixel line, when they had the other original, like all the other Pixels, right? The 5, the 3, they really didn't. All of a sudden with the 6, they came out with a new device, right? Rebranded, made it look nice, and then all of a sudden, wouldn't you know it? There's advertisements. Now people know about it. They see it at the
TV,
Super Bowl. They see it
cinema,
on
billboards, bloody everything.
I'm seeing a
telling
lot
you-
of pixels on a day-to-day basis. A lot of pixels.
So many here in the UK.
And it's
They even
because
changed
finally
the whole Team Pixel thing, didn't they? They've gone with more influencers now
Yeah.
rather than tech YouTubers. It's all like
Noticed.
influencers doing TikTok
But-
dancing and
Yeah.
all that jazz.
if you're gonna take a shot at Samsung and Apple's behemoth lock-on device,
Well, yeah, that's the way to go. Yeah.
For sure, for
the
sure.
OnePlus 12 is a great device, but at $799, it might be the best device in the world. But if nobody knows about it, nobody's gonna buy it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, but
and OnePlus and Oppo are not going to advertise in the United States. They are not
No.
pushing money into that market. Nope, it's not happening.
But-
It's never going anywhere. Period.
even though it's like mostly compared to S24 Ultra, which I don't agree, it's like a bit stupid because those are like two different price ranges. But
It's an S24 Plus
Yeah,
compare,
but,
if anything.
at the
Yeah.
same time, I don't really remember the last OnePlus, other than the OnePlus Open, that would be like so positively welcomed to the reviews and to the market.
Yeah,
because
true.
like 11, 10, and 9, they were like okay. They were okay phones with a mediocre camera, and well, it's not the best idea to buy them, for example, at launch because they will like drop down 1/3 of the price after 2 weeks after the initial premiere, right? But this time, the 12 is having like a really exceptional opinion right now.
positive.
I haven't actually seen even one review that would be in like negative approach, that would have like a negative approach to this device. They mostly very positive, which is kind of surprising because other than the chip, not much has changed, right? I mean, it's the same design for like 3 years. Right now, I don't like the like stony green back. It looks cheap for me.
Or the
But
kitchen top marbles.
yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know. I haven't seen it in person, but from the
Yeah,
videos that I've seen, I don't know.
It's unique.
It intrigued me. Yeah, it intrigues me. In a world full of iPhones, which they all look the same since the 11 series, this one stands out in a very pleasant way.
True.
Got a Greek look.
Can I say something, Manos?
Yes.
It's similar
Yeah,
to
to
your
bring in the
background
Greek.
right now.
It's
what?
just the curtains that came with the house. Come on, what can I do?
Oh man.
He's just saying, well, I
fit in
mean, you
well.
like that style considering the style in your background is kind of whack, right? Is that what
Touche,
he's-
touche.
is that what he's saying?
Just joking.
No.
Joking,
Going by what
but-
Manos just said, he buys a phone and it comes with a case with loads of flowers on it. He goes, "Oh, it came with the phone." He doesn't buy a new case.
I bought the phone. They gave me the flower case. I can't say no. It's free. I mean, what am I gonna do, right? I can't really just I gotta kind of go with it for a while. I agree. I'm kind of about it, but yeah, I think. But at $799, I think that's a pretty solid deal, and it's really competitive against the Pixel. Again, it's going to be the best phone in 24 that nobody's ever heard of.
Talking of OnePlus though, the 12R, that's a lot of phone for your money.
Yeah, in the UK, it's expensive, to be fair. It's almost 1K, 900.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
top spec one is, yeah.
Yeah.
But the 12R, that's a lot of phone for your money. It's, 8 Gen 2 in there. A lot of the specs from the 12 in there. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it sort of sits behind the 11. So you got to sort of work out where the 11 places, because obviously that's an 8 Gen 2 as well. So
Yeah, that's
if you
true.
can get the 8, if you can get the 11 on a fair discount, it might sort of be, yeah, you don't know which one to go for.
Yeah, it'll be difficult. They sort of blur.
Worth looking at, but either way, you're looking at a really good device for a pretty good cost.
And I just like the fact that people have said that it seems like OnePlus is starting to pivot back to what they were good at, right? Having a really high-end phone, but having a little bit more of an aggressive mid-range kind of price point, right? And so I think that's what everybody's kind of happy about, that it seems like the OnePlus brand is starting to course correct a bit and kind of getting back to where they were where they really were solid, right? It was really giving you a really high-end flagship style experience, right? The flagship killer, as it were. And
just a good
having
alternative,
right, and a little bit less damaging to a wallet, and especially they throw in they're giving now $100 for you. Just send me any phone you got. We don't even care if it turns on, right? Just send me a device to us, and you get $100, right? So now you're at a better point.
Here they don't give you anything.
Right, I'm still trying to think what I would do with this, because this is my only real slab phone I use. And
Psychedelic.
Well, extreme skins, right? Psychedelic.
Yep.
Well, you're thinking of swapping it out.
No, I've thought about it, and I actually went and took it, and I went on there. I could get it for about $490, and I'm just like, I don't know, at $490, I really don't. I think I'm stuck. I'm stay with the 10 Pro. I like the 10 Pro well enough. I think it got Android 14. It does all right. Battery's a little, cameras are okay.
But it's an 8 Gen. It's an 8 Gen 1 device, isn't it? So it's a little, all those devices were pretty good, but just not too great on battery and stuff like that.
All I know is I don't owe anything on this. I have it in hand, and it costs me nothing. And I'm not, in order to get something nicer, I don't have to come out with 500 quid, right? I'm good where I am. At some point, you have to kind of just go, look, it's nice to have, but I mean, if you've got an S23, unless you really need the AI component stuff or whatever, and you really need to have the ups, I think you're solid with the S23 Ultra, man. I can't think you could really argue, unless you can get such a sweetheart deal that it's almost darn near a wash. If you're paying more than 400, I don't know why you'd want to spend the money unless you just have money to burn. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. To me, it's a hard sell unless you got a carrier upgrade or something coming. I think you should just stick with what you got.
That's exactly the summary of my Twitter review that I posted today, that if you have S24 Ultra and you're like okay with the cameras, there's like no reason for you to upgrade. Maybe if you have a crazy trade-in or a carrier deal, then then you can go for it. But other than that, I don't see a reason to upgrade from S24 Ultra. If you're okay with the cameras.
I posted that the other day. Let's say that the S23 Ultra's, the S24 Ultra is probably not going to be much different to the S23 Ultra. So stick with. And that's why That's why I didn't get it. I was like, I didn't like the S23 Ultra cameras. I'm not going to like the S24 Ultra cameras. So why am I getting it? I'd be getting it for. I'd be getting it to make videos. Yeah. If anything, I mean, the S23 Ultra video I did before, going back to middle of last year, did quite well. But I got a lot of flack for it. So, maybe I could just do without that. But when you can get an S23 Ultra as well, even if people like going from, maybe a Note 20 Ultra or S21 Ultra, something like that, the S23 Ultra can be bought for about half the price of an S24 Ultra.
Yeah, you're looking at 600 easy, aren't you?
I mean, taking out, if you decide to do trade-ins and all this sort of stuff. But if you were buying outright, I'd recommend an S23 Ultra over that, hands down, if you really wanted a Samsung.
Yeah.
Great device.
And probably the last best 10x zoom out there.
Yeah, and especially given the fact that those AI features are going to drop down to S24.
Yeah, a lot of them are, aren't they?
Mid-year, yeah.
I haven't read much into about this. Are they gonna come down to the S23 for free for a year, or they're gonna come down as paid service?
They're
I think
going
till
to come
2025
as free, but it's not actually. Samsung didn't say that. Okay, you're going to have to pay since 2026. What they just said was that it's like guaranteed to be free until the end of 2025.
Not specifying which features or anything like that. I mean, there's probably going to be other features launched by then. There'll be refinements, improvements.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they pull an Apple, like with the satellite connection thing, that it was originally free for a year and then they extended it more. So
that's exactly what we've been saying. Like last week, we've done that. This is like a a backdoor for them in case that the cloud computing costs would
Yeah.
like get massively would go massively up and be too big for them. But I don't believe that they will charge for those features.
No,
at all,
and
to be
especially
honest.
if it runs on the phone itself, opposed to Google, where you need to connect to their servers in order for it to work.
They also connect to the servers in a few of the features. Not
Yeah,
all
they
of
do,
them
yeah.
are. Yeah,
Yeah,
not all
okay.
of them are on device.
Okay.
There's actually a option in One UI when you can select to use only those AI features that are on device. And then
Yeah.
when you try
Okay,
to
that's
use
cool.
those that don't reach to the cloud, you have like a message box telling you that you're not able to use this right now.
Gotcha. Something like with a blur on Lightroom, where you need to be connected on the internet.
Yep.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So if it came down to it, guys, would you get a OnePlus 12 or an S24 Plus?
One
Ah,
plus
one
12.
OnePlus 12, no questions asked.
Yeah, no questions.
Like
asked,
that camera hardware is just too good.
I'm laughing because like a week and a half ago, Dan was the only one who was supposed to get the S24 Ultra.
I know. I said that in the chat. I was
Yeah,
like,
and
hold on.
3 da-
It's gone
3
from
days
me being the
later,
only
yeah.
one getting it to everybody else getting it and me not. It was just a crazy turnaround.
Yeah, I blame Chad. Chad was like, "Oh yeah, it's better, it's fixed, it's this," and then I was like,
It is
"Is it?"
better. It is better.
It is
I
better,
mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I
Across
don't
all the
know.
pictures I've taken, it is massively better. Although I think that Samsung like dug a hole for themselves that it's hard for them to climb out right now with this like 0-day update, because I think that you just need to have a bit of luck right now. I believe I got a good device, but there are some devices that have a lot of issues with colors post processing, and I believe that this is a matter of update that will fix and like even out the playing field for everyone. But yeah, there is a lot of people right now with issues still. But I think that I have gotten a good device because I can clearly see the upgrade from last year.
Yeah, likewise.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have an S23 to compare it with. It's just from comparing to the Pixel, and then with some pictures that I saw online, and especially I think it was today, guys, with what Alex posted, and I just could not see it. For me, S23 Ultra looked better, less saturated, better highlights. I was like, I don't see how is it better, but maybe it's just my eyes. I don't know.
I thought it was. I mean, Ibrahim's there as well, saying, he's baited you all, Chad, that is, and you fell for it. It's funny seeing Manos though. Manos was the one that was like adamant he wasn't getting it, and then as each day went past, he was gradually changing his mind.
Yeah.
It was great. It was funny to see. It was just.
Well, it seems to be my experience with people, especially people in the space. The more they say they're not going to do it, the more they're leaning into it. The people who don't talk about it at all, like me, you don't hear me saying nothing, is because it's not on my radar, right? Because I'm not. It's almost like you're subconsciously trying to talk yourself out of it.
Yeah.
If I verbalize it, maybe I won't get it, and then you just walk right in, and you walk right into it, and like you lean into it, and you're like, I'm just getting it anyway.
Yeah,
and then you
for
get
me.
it, and it's not going to move the needle for you. You know it's not. It's like drugs, right? You're like,
It is.
I know.
If I promise, maybe this time if I take it, this will be the last time. And
As
it's
I
not
said
the
before,
last
it's
time.
an
You buy
addiction.
it, you get it out, and you're like, yay, it's fun. No, it's
it's not.
right?
That was exactly me. That was
And
exactly
then you're
me.
sitting there,
Sam.
and you're
Guys,
just like question.
let's all
and then you're
agree
just
though that
questioning.
any mistakes we make in life, whether it's buying a phone or what, we just blame Chad.
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's
I'm
his
all
fault,
for that.
100%. Yeah.
Hashtag
It's always
blame
Chad's
Chad.
fault.
Isn't there some kind of like protocol or like some kind of like a document that says, and at the end of the day, just blame Chad.
It's
That's
just
gonna be
a-
good. That'd be a good T-shirt. If we ever get merch, it'll blame Chad team. Would be
Blame Chad.
great.
Yeah, that'd
our,
be great.
our show sucks. Just blame Chad. It's his fault.
it's catastrophe.
Yeah.
Right.
And the funny thing is, Sam, that with our group, they have pinned on the very top, even with Chad, that I was saying that I was not gonna buy the S24 Ultra this year.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Pinned it. Yeah.
It failed.
Yeah.
Just failed.
Yeah,
It's
it's
been-
okay. You know what?
You were showing up, mate. You were
Yeah.
showing up and showing exactly for what you are. And I did.
A phony.
Well,
A
Yeah.
phony.
At least I'm
Total
not keeping
phony.
it up.
Total phony.
That's true.
it's okay.
It's fine. I'm glad you got it. And
Yeah.
I didn't. That's all I'm saying.
Actually, I'm glad that I was able to try it and like do some comparisons because I like doing this stuff. But to be
Sure.
honest, if not the if not the guy that like backed out of buying my S23 Ultra, I wouldn't have gotten it. At least not right now. But like it is
That
what
was
it is.
fate.
Yeah,
was fate.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe. I'll just return it and keep the Pixel for now.
Until you buy the OnePlus as well.
For
and you're
now.
like, yeah,
For now, yeah.
yeah. There's
I love that little extra qualifier right at the end.
for now.
Yeah, he's gonna sneak it in there like nobody's paying attention, like we didn't hear that last part. It's like
Watch this space.
kind of for now, maybe. So,
It's just who we are. It's just
that's
who we
it.
are.
You know what? Hey, you know, sometimes you got to lean into it, man. Just get embrace
Yeah.
it, embrace the insanity. Sometimes it's just
Yeah.
like because you just sit back and go, why do it? No normal person would do any of this kind of stuff. They're just like,
Oh
they look
yeah,
at us
for
like-
sure, for sure.
They're like, you have a problem? Yes. It's
Yeah,
clearly obvious. Yeah, I need an intervention or or medication or something. I don't know what I need, but it's just like,
or new phone.
yeah, or a new phone. I mean,
or
Sam,
or you can
I
just meet me
did-
at the corner
I-
with the new phone, right?
I did order the OnePlus 12. It's just I canceled it because it was supposed to come like at the middle to end of February. And I was like, I'm not giving them 1K and just wait for a month. When it will become,
Right.
next day available, then I will place an order again. But until then, no, I'm keeping my money.
We can
Right,
always
well,
rely
that's-
on Manos to just try every phone.
Right.
We
I was
can
really
set-
annoyed
That's
with
the great
OnePlus
thing.
though. You know the B&O headphones?
These sold
Like-
out immediately in
Wow,
Like
like
in
really?
the
seconds.
first 20 minutes. It's like, for
Yeah.
God's sake.
That's a shame.
They probably had like 10 pairs.
yeah,
10
all, fif-
pairs,
all
yeah.
15 of them.
Yeah.
Don't you get the OnePlus Buds now or something? You get some.
Yeah, which is
Yeah,
like
but-
half,
Yeah.
not even half the price of the.
They're good. They're good. I have them. They're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. If the headphones weren't available, I wouldn't be worried because they're waved £400 in front of me. When you hear that I can get the buds for 140, worth 149, you're like, oh, it's not quite the same.
But even those B&Os, they don't cost anymore 400 something. They are like 50% in most
Yeah,
places.
it was the
Oh,
MSRP.
okay.
Yeah, but still, it's a great pair of headphones. So yeah.
Yeah,
It's
true.
nice to have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I
Nice to
need
have.
them anyway. I don't.
Yeah, it's
Like
nice
I
to
said,
have
I-
someone on though, right?
Man,
I'm always more about. I would much rather them keep that money and then
Yeah.
leverage
Take it off the
against
phone.
The price of the phone,
Yeah.
or maybe
Wouldn't we
50-50,
all?
right? Let's say the price of the headphones would be $200. Then instead of that, you can opt to. I don't want the headphones, but take 100. Maybe not the dollar for dollar, maybe at 50%. Like you're willing to say, okay, I
Yeah,
don't
that's a
want the
good shout,
headphones.
Sam. That's
And
a
just
good
say,
shout.
hey, okay, I'm willing to
won't,
do
but yeah,
instead of 200,
nice.
I'll take 100 off, and I'll just kind of meet you in the middle. How about that, right? And
So I
then-
think a lot of people would do that. Gift with purchase
Oh god, yeah.
or discount.
Yeah.
I'll take that discount.
But
I
just
mean, I
remember, the
don't
discount
mind.
would be less,
Yeah.
right? You just can't get the discount. So, instead of $200 headphones, you get $75 off.
Well, let's
Okay,
be honest.
well,
Who,
then
the free gifts, right? 90% of the people
Oh,
sell them.
Yeah.
yeah,
With the Pixel 6 Pro, they were giving the Bose 700s.
yeah.
I sold them immediately.
But
like,
Mate,
I,
they was
eBay
eBay was
also
so many.
Yeah.
flooded.
I made
remember-
200 pounds off of them. 200
I remember
pounds.
Pixel watch,
pre-ordering.
man.
Yeah, I remember pre-ordering the Pixel 6 Pro, and those both 700s ended, and they had to come up with some plan, and they were giving out the QC45 and a 50 quid Google
Yeah,
Play
I got
Store,
that.
Google Store.
I would have
Okay.
preferred that.
Yeah, that
Yeah, I
sounds
got
good.
that. I
Yeah.
sold the headphones.
Yeah.
Then I sold the Pixel Watch when I got that.
I
It
sold
was
the
really
first gen as
difficult
well.
sold in the Pixel Watch though because there was so many people selling them.
How much did you sell yours for? I sold mine for
Oh,
150.
Mine was 175, I think it was.
Oh, lucky you, lucky you.
Yeah, I did quite well with it.
I tried selling the Gen 2 initially, but no one would give me more than 100. So I was like, screw this. It's a decent watch.
Snapdragon, mate. Snapdragon.
Yeah,
powered.
exactly. Yeah, the battery lasts way better than last year. That's for
Oh yeah,
sure.
definitely.
I just wish it was, a little bit bigger. But
That's what
apart
she
from
said.
that, yeah. But apart from that, all good.
Just to you, Joe. Just to you.
Two
Oh yeah, probably true.
Yeah, it's here. It's
Oh,
here.
there you go. And
That
in the
blue's
blue.
nice though.
Oh, matching
it's
up.
it's
matching
all right.
up. Matching up.
Yeah. The best case though is this one.
I think it needs to be flower covered, and then he'd probably be all in. Just saying.
You would,
Solid
yeah.
blue. Pastel
Marble
blue
it
is not
up,
my
marble
thing.
it up.
But if you got some marble, it's like an orange marble. I'd be okay with that. I'm all right.
We'll move on. We'll move swiftly on. from
Swiftly.
that. Swiftly. I don't know if you guys have seen the Pixel 9 renders.
Yes.
But,
Yep.
let's see if I can share this.
I'm gonna
Have a
say
look.
straight away, I like it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of people saying it looks like an iPhone just because the sides are flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, because iPhone apparently has, I don't know, like a monopoly on flat sides.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, I posted that tweet, and a lot of people were like, well, it isn't. It does look like an iPhone. Like, take all these other things away. It looks like an iPhone. Well, yeah. If you take everything away from the outside of it and the camera housing and everything, they're all going to look the bloody same, pretty much.
But what can they do for the side? Either they round the side or they flatten the side.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
they got 1,000 different choices. It's like you
Exactly.
can
It's not
triangles,
like
I
it
guess.
hasn't been done before. There's so many
What else are you
companies
gonna
that have
do?
done it.
It's like, what's with this car? It's got like 4 tires and a steering wheel. It's just like every other damn car. I'm like, what else are you gonna do, right? It's gotta have,
Yeah.
it's gotta
Just
have
like-
some stuff.
It's
I mean,
just crazy.
Just
See,
like
them
I said,
renders, they look shiny, the sides, but I also heard the rumor that it's going to be titanium.
Ugh.
I don't think they'll go that route, but it just add cost that they don't need to add.
Yeah.
For sure. And it doesn't offer anything. I don't know. Just
to be honest, I prefer the sides of S23 Ultra to the S24 Ultra.
I did. When I looked at
Yeah.
it, I feel like the titanium doesn't actually feel as premium as people make out.
Yeah,
That's me.
surprisingly, S24 Ultra for me is less slippery on the sides than the S24 Ultra, and I kind of liked the like very soft touch that it had. So, yeah, I prefer the S23 in this regard.
No, I thought the S23 Ultra felt better, but like you know, I feel like we're all gonna slap a case on it anyway. I don't know
True.
why people get worked up about this stuff all the time and just sort of are always like, oh, it looks like an iPhone. Everything's iPhone. Just everything.
Just like I said in one of my tweets, Apple actually tried to patent the rectangle with rounded sides, and they failed for a reason because like. You just like
You
Joe said,
can't, you
you
can't.
have like 3 or 5 different choices right now, and I believe that if they will keep like a chamfered edges on the like front and the back, it's really a good design. So why not stick with it?
But why did they stick the dynamic island on the back, though? I don't get it.
Copying again. God
So,
damn.
so the people you're looking that are looking at your phone can enjoy the dynamic island. You don't need to see.
Yeah.
It's just whatever, man. These all look the same because they are all the same. They're all. I mean, what can you really do? I mean, I don't understand what these people expect. I mean, it's like either it's going to be flat. I mean, unless they go back to like something like what the HTC One M8 M9, those kinds of.
Yeah.
Then you got a little different situation. But I mean, if you're going to have this kind of a sandwich phone, I mean, you don't really have a lot of flexibility in what you can do. You kind of have to go with either flat or curved, maybe chamfered.
I mean, even like phones like the Lumia 930 or the Icon, if you want to call it that, like had the flat sides, and that looked.
I still wish they had the One M8. I still think that just the way that the phone curved in the back, I just thought it felt a lot better to use with a little bit of the curve. This flat back just kind of. I wish they would have a little bit of a curve. I'm okay with having that kind of design.
I think a company needs to be, courageous and just copy or get inspired, let's say better, from Nokia from the early 2000s and late 90s. Do you remember all the shapes and
Oh, yeah.
forms? Like the Nokia 7.6
I think those
something?
days are gone. I think those days are gone. But
They were adventures. Yeah.
I just find it funny because like we're getting these leaks, and like this is by the looks of it the smaller Pixel 9, just the regular Pixel 9. It's got a telephoto, like a periscope lens on it. It's like, oh, we might get that in the smaller phone. That's really awesome. But no,
would be
let's
amazing.
talk about the fact that it looks like an iPhone.
Yeah.
Like, guys, come on.
What intrigues me though is like it looks like there's extra sensors, like little circles below the main cameras.
Yeah, there's. I mean, obviously, this is just a render, but
Render.
Yeah.
so we'll have to see what it actually is. But like,
There's-
it's just interesting that they might be moving back towards a sort of more like the Pixel 4 and 4 XL setup. like how
that'd
it
be
used to
good.
be, and sort of try and
Apple?
differentiate it more from the A series, which would be
Maybe,
pretty
yeah.
cool.
That would be a good move because they're very close with the A series. Yeah.
Do you
Bring back
remember?
Project Soli.
Oh yeah, under the screen, right? But do you
Yeah.
remember the news? Actually, it's only now that I've remembered about it. Like a year ago, it was like 2 or 3 weeks before the S23 Ultra came out. There was a news that Samsung has a new design lead, hardware design lead, and this was supposed to be a
Ooh.
guy from Ferrari or Mercedes, Mercedes-Benz, something like that. I don't remember. And everything were saying that okay, S23 it's going to look just the same as S22 Ultra looked, but the next year's phone is going to be like entirely different, right? Because there's new design lead. And what can we say about assumptions, right? They
I mean,
just picture.
apparently this design lead missed the memo. Apparently he wasn't paying attention at the meeting.
Maybe.
Dude,
They're
you
they're
didn't
yeah.
even change it? He's like, what? You're supposed to change it on this one. He's like,
They
Changed on the
oh my
inside.
god, 24. Oh, I thought you said 25. Are you sure? Yeah, dude. We told you the whole time.
they're just pulling an Apple. Unfortunately, they just let's make the same thing over and over. Yeah.
I think they're just
Well, they're
using
gonna
it for
keep
as long
buying
as
it.
they can. They're just
Yeah.
they don't want to retool. It saves money and keeps
Yeah.
profits higher.
Just-
And once
just
they get
as
to
they
the
are.
point where they can't fit the camera sensors into that sort of housing, they will have to change it.
Yeah.
So, we'll. I mean, that could be next year.
What is your favourite design at the moment then, out of all the phones that are out now?
Pixel.
Pixel?
The Oppo X7
Oh,
Ultra.
mate, the Oppo. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's the one with the leather back. Am I right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that does look
Oh.
nice.
vegan leather, fake.
Oh,
The one
so,
Darren's got looks
so plastic.
nice.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, it's got the blue ante. It's got the blue, the white top. Looks very nice, and I do like
Lovely.
that sort of round camera housing. Reminds me of a Lumia 1020.
Yeah.
Always will. And it makes it even across as well, like a bit like the Pixel when you put it down.
Yes.
No rocking around and stuff.
Yeah, they don't wobble.
And yeah, speaking of Oppo, we might actually get the Ultras coming back next year here in Europe, which will be very
That
nice.
would be amazing.
Yes.
Cannot wait. If that happens, it will be the only phone I'll buy.
I would definitely. I mean, when we saw the leaks for the X6, was it the Pro or Ultra? Did they call it an Ultra? I can't remember anymore. The X6 series.
Pro.
I thought it was Pro.
Yeah. And now it's
Um,
Ultra, yeah.
Like when we saw that originally, I was like, "That is the phone I'm getting, 100%." And then they were like, "It's not coming to you." No,
Yeah.
I was.
You need to tell them that
Devastated.
you don't want it. Then they'll sell it.
Yeah,
They
maybe.
actually pointed at you, Dan. They went, it's not coming out.
Stupid Dan.
Maybe you will win the X7 Ultra that they're doing with the competition this year.
I'm
was it
going
your
to win it. I am going to
You're
win it.
gonna
I'm
win
sure
it.
I will.
All right. Well, we'll do a meetup at that point.
Yeah.
We do need to do meet up in
No
the UK
reason.
for sure.
We will
Yeah.
do a meetup. We will get a meetup.
Sorry, Sam.
Hey, he's coming
I
over.
can fly.
He's coming
I can
over.
fly there.
Yeah, come
Those
out.
Get
ones.
here.
They have,
Okay.
Joe. They have these things called airplanes. You should try one out one time. They actually.
Oh, yeah,
fly
I've been
you.
on them.
I know. You got the United
Recently.
States, didn't you?
Some of them
Yeah,
are
I can-
losing parts during the flight, but
you
I
know
heard
what?
that not all of them.
Yeah, some are missing bolts and things. It's fine.
They don't
It's
go
his
on
fault.
time, ever.
Well, that's okay. I mean, what do
Hey,
you
at least
expect, you know?
it's better than taking a train in the UK, so that's fine.
Yeah, true. They're on strike.
Jeez.
If you can get one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But yeah, the Oppo and Nokia have come to an agreement on the patent dispute that they had a couple of years back now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it has been.
I think it started around a couple of years ago, and then it sort of got worse. But that's the reason why Oppo sort of pulled out a lot of their phones in Europe.
Yeah, it's
Other
such a
than
shame.
the Reno, I think it was.
Yep.
We're still selling that.
The Reno
And
didn't
the
do that
Flips.
great, did it?
No,
I don't think.
I don't know what they were thinking with this latest Reno. I mean, the camera looks so bad.
They're
It's a
ugly.
shame because like the Reno 8 Pro was like a sexy device.
It was a good phone. It was actually
Yeah.
a good phone. I
that
had one.
MediaTek as well. It was very nice.
And
It
I
was
think
really
they're
good phone.
also at very reasonable pricing, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Not
Yep.
bad, yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be nice to see if they can bring the Ultra. But then by that point, if we're talking next year, we might even get a OnePlus Ultra. So,
True.
but then it's going to be the same phone pretty much. So we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. But right. Anything else to talk about? Anybody in the chat want to talk about anything else before we pack up? Because we've hit an hour. The hour's gone very quick.
Already.
Indeed.
Goes
It's
too
gone
quick.
really, really quick.
It feels
Way too
almost as quick as my time with the S24 Ultra.
I thought you were going to say something
Actually,
else.
I think we beat the time by about 10 or 12 minutes. I think we're good.
Yeah.
I was also sure going to like mention something else, but
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
but nah, it didn't last as long.
Oh, mate. The filth. The absolute filth. of This
Dirty.
group. Dirty.
That makes me and Sam feel at home.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure.
mean,
I'm sure.
yeah,
Especially you.
we just need a detail, and then it makes it, and it all comes in.
Yeah, where is he?
He's
no.
here. Yeah, it's all good. But yeah, so no, I mean, that's we'll see. It's going to be an interesting 2024, like always. But we're getting off to a pop and start with the 12 and the 24 Ultra. So 24. Series,
Just one thing about the Unpacked, like what really was strange, it like brought up the ring and then just ended.
I did think that was strange.
Very strange. I was really
just
intrigued.
a teaser. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a
They
real
don't usually
teaser.
do teasers, though, do they?
No, not like that. I was like, yeah. So what material is it? What can it do?
Yeah.
Wow, this ring looks great. Like,
I was actually pretty, like, excited to look at the details and stuff.
Yeah,
I didn't
I
actually
was.
watch the show, so I was like, I saw it get mentioned, and I saw the announcement thing. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm
I'll sit
interested
there
in
like-
that. So then I'm looking for it later, and I'm looking through Twitter later on, and then I realized nobody was talking about it. I was like, well, what?
Yeah.
Is it that
same-
bad? So I looked it up, and it was like, oh no, they didn't tell us anything.
because Dan, after the show, we was allowed to go down and see devices, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to get down there and see the ring. But of course, there wasn't any rings down there.
Yeah.
Gutted.
Difficult to test.
We are thinking about a ring, and now you're thinking about the ring,
Burning
That's
ring
it.
of fire.
and that's it. So good
Yeah,
luck to you.
Samsung,
I mean,
we are thinking
Yeah.
about your ring.
right.
Yeah, it's especially given
Doesn't
the fact
sound
that
dodgy at all.
this is not like a new device, new type of device, right? This
No.
is like something that's out on the market for
like
like
an
Aura
Aura
has
ring.
like
Yeah,
3
Aura ring.
generations already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got stung, guys. It's like rings thing.
Yeah, it's just something new, I guess. That's why it's exciting, and most likely they're gonna announce it properly, like in August with the fold and the flip.
I think that's what will happen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They might even push that as like the free gift with it to try and push it to
Oh
people.
yeah, good point.
Yeah.
With it being like a first gen, they'll probably say, "Oh, just take it as a free gift and get people using them and talking about it." And
Then we
Yeah.
find that everyone's digging into their fold screens with the ring and ruining the screen.
I can
yeah,
totally see
when they
that
pick it up
happening.
like how Mac does,
Or maybe
because
there
you're
was
not allowed
someone,
to pick up your phone like that, Mac.
Yeah, there
Like,
was
who does
an
that? Who does that?
amazing tweet today that you would
I need to see this.
picked up your TV or your Mac or your PC like that. I was
So
like,
Alex Tech, he scratched his S24 Ultra, and Mac
right.
was making the point that when you pick up your phone in a certain way, the watch catches it. With with the metal part. Is it the metal part of the watch catches it?
Yes.
And it can scratch it. And this guy just replied to me saying, "Who picks up their phone like that?"
maybe you can show it.
Mac does.
I've sent you the link. And his latest reply was like the best one I've ever
Well, he's still
seen.
going.
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
of course,
oh,
it's
no.
Twix.
Yeah,
That's gonna say
so-
more than
I
it
should have
go.
known.
It's gonna be a back and forth for like a week, right? It's just
So
kinda-
should've known.
so he actually replied, "You would not grab your TV, PC monitor, or your iMac, whatever like that. So why do you grab your phone?"
Like it's the same
Because the
device.
TV isn't the same size, you dork.
Although,
You
Although
wouldn't
Mac with the
drive a
TV
tractor like you drive a tricycle, would you?
Because
Yeah,
I'm not
'cause
like
it's not the
grabbing
same
my.
vehicle,
I'm not,
you
not
moron.
grabbing
just so
my
you know
wardrobe
how
in the
big
same way.
Mac is. If Mac had a TV in his hand, it would look like a tablet.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. I
Wait.
need to. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to grab it.
Oh, I was gonna say real quick. Look what I found in my drawer the other day. I
Nexus.
still have it.
Wow.
What's that?
We're doing that
Nexus-
segment on here, Sam.
Nexus.
No, I'm
Nexus
saying
tablet.
I have a Nexus tablet, 2013. I forgot I had the Nexus 7 in 2013.
Oh, I had that.
I have. I
And
even
I-
have
and I
the
for-
same one somewhere.
I tried to boot it up and I forgot that I wiped the OS on it because I was going to put a Lineage build and I forgot to do it. So I just left it alone. I forgot about it. So I tried to boot it up and it boots into twerp. I'm like, that's it. So, oh well, so what? I found it though. Yeah, so what?
There we are.
Who does that?
Yeah, when I'm grabbing it off a desk, for example, I'm just.
That's how a
like,
man
grabbing
grabs
it,
the phone.
It like
Yeah.
that and go.
Just a
mean, you can
manly
grab it.
grab.
Latest replay is just like the best one.
My
What
little
it
hands
is-
can't do that very well.
What it is it's really not the watch that. It's all that man hair on my arm. That's what scratches the screen. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
It's
You
like
got manly
It's
man
made
hair
of
on your arm.
razor
You got to
wire.
pick it up like you know you're like
Yeah, I have a
daintily pick it up on the corner. Who does that? A bunch of psychopaths.
who grabs a phone
bulletproof
like
chest
that?
hair, like David Hasselhoff.
Yeah,
Right.
Max the superhero.
I've not even seen that. This is how aliens pretend to be humans and mimic picking up a phone.
No, that's funny.
That's funny.
That's funny.
That's good.
Uh,
Oh,
Do you know what, Dan? This is a good segment. You know, going on Twix and just reading
I think
some
we probably
comments.
should. I think this
Read
is
the
going to be.
comments.
This is going to become regular, especially
Oh,
with the stuff
yeah.
that we put out.
This is good.
For me, the funniest comment that I read recently was from one guy telling Fahimov about editing raw pictures.
Yes.
I was
Oh
like,
my
what?
Oh,
That's what Raw's for.
Guy's point was basically if you edit your photos that you've taken on a device, that means the device is pretty much shite.
I died.
So what's the point in Raw?
I have no idea.
Oh man,
That's-
you
yeah,
see
we
all
should,
sorts of things.
find the best comment and throw it in here, but that's pretty good. I think
That
that's
was
hilarious.
that's a good way. That's a good way to finish. I think that's
That
very
is
good.
great.
Right. Well, thanks to everybody that's tuned in. It's been a fun. It's been good to have a bunch of us here, a bunch of phonies, if you would, here for the show this week, and hopefully we'll get Neil in next week as well. We shall see, and we'll see what else pops up news wise. I'm sure there'll be something. I'll have a new phone to talk about as well. So
Ooh.
little old
Keep an
flippy-
eye out on
flippy dippy.
Nomad Tech Project. I'm gonna drop my Galaxy Unpacked video soon.
Hey.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's only about my experience, and I'll put some of the highlights in there as well from Samsung about the actual device. But mostly it's my experience. Some Ray-Ban action.
Oh, I love
Nice.
the Ray-Ban action.
Yeah.
We love all the action, all the Joe action.
Yep. There's some Chad action as well.
Okay, not
Joe-
all
Joe-
the
There's
action.
no,
then.
just to clarify, there's no
Chad
Joe on
action
Chad
with
action,
the
right?
No.
There's no Joe
okay.
and Sam action either, so we're clear. Like, okay, that's
Well,
not
I'm glad,
sanctioned by. What is happening right now? Who hurt you, Joe? It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Cut.
And on that note, we'll be back next week. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks for
Thanks,
having
everyone.
us.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.